Hi, everybody. This is Clay, and this is lesson number 4, stock picking. I think probably one of my favorite topics to talk about. So let's get started. First of all, there are two kinds of basic stock pickers. Technical analysts, these are the guys and ladies who look at the charts and are not too much interested in what the company makes, but just try to predict whether a company's stock is going to go up or down just on how the stock is moving and what the charts tell them. The second kind are people who use company information such as financial reports and to select which stocks to buy. So my recommendation is don't be either. I'm not saying don't own stocks. I'm saying don't select individual stocks based on either of these methods, but instead you purchase them through index funds. We'll get to that later. But here's 3 reasons not to be a stock picker. First of all, it's a huge time sink. I know people who buy individual stocks, and they much of their life is just dedicated to looking at the charts or reading financial reports. So we're talking in this website of being a no-brainer investor, and this just takes too much brain power and time. The second reason is a really interesting concept, but takes a little explanation about competition. Now, let me explain what I mean. There are 2 types of competition. One is direct competition, shown on the left-hand side here. And this is where your performance depends directly on your opponent's ability. So chess would be an example, tennis, and war are all examples of where your opponent affects your ability to succeed. Whereas an indirect type of competition is your opponent is not directly affecting your performance, such as bowling, where you're competing against the pins, or pie eating, where you're competing against the number of pies you can eat, or drag racing, where you're competing against the clock. So your performance, theoretically, is not predicted by the performance of your opponent. Now, I know from talking to people that a lot of people look at buying stocks or the stock market as being an indirect type of competition. It's you against you and everybody else against the stock market. Where in truth, it is a direct kind of competition. Your performance is affected by the other players. Think about it. Every time you purchase a stock, there has to be someone out there, an opponent, if you will, that has to sell you a stock. Every time you sell a stock, you have to find an opponent, another player out there who has to buy the stock. So purchasing or buying or trading, stock picking, is a type of direct competition. And, well, it's not quite hand-to-hand combat, but it is you against the other players. And the fact of the matter is, it's not a fair fight. It's not even close. Your competition is way better equipped and trained than you are. This is your opponent. About probably 80% of the market now has supercomputers and using sophisticated trading programs. It's called flash trading. And their orders are executing in nanoseconds. They have enormous resources and possibly inside information, if not inside information, possibly information that gets to them way before you. And they work full time at this in beating everyone else, you in particular. However, you probably have a home computer. Your orders may take minutes, hours, or days to execute. You have limited resources, and at best, no inside information, most likely, maybe a hot tip from your neighbor, but how good is that? And you're probably only working part-time on playing the market. So it's simply not a fair fight. The third reason is a little bit more technical and complex. It's called the efficient market hypothesis. I know it's kind of a scary sounding thing. It's an investment theory that states it's impossible to beat the market because all known and available information is already reflected in current prices. That's kind of a mouthful, but let me give you an example. Consider buying Apple stock. A friend of mine not too long ago said, boy, Clay, I really want to buy some Apple stock. It's poised to go up. I've been reading what the experts say. It's a great company. I wish I had money to buy some more now. Well, if he knows it, the rest of the world knows it. And what this hypothesis says is that the price of Apple stock has already gone up to meet the likelihood that it will go up even more. So it's no better than buying any other stock or flipping a coin. Yes, it may go up, it may go down, but in terms of buying it and paying the price, the current market price, it's not a sure thing by any means. So the hypothesis was proposed in '65 by Eugene Fama. He has a PhD in economics from the University of Chicago. And in 2013, he won a Nobel Prize in economics. So it's not something to be taken lightly. We're going to talk a little bit more about my take on it, and whether or not, how it affects us. It's resulted in a lot of controversy and has inspired many academic studies and articles and books. One book in particular that's been very popular for many years is A Random Walk Down Wall Street. By the way, these books are listed in my bibliography on the website. So if it's true, it means stock analysis and financial pundits are worthless. I mean, that's saying quite a bit when you think how much is invested by professionals in analysis and by financial pundits. Now, if you Google this, you'll find a lot of controversy and discussion about it. And much of it says, well, it can't be true, just consider Warren Buffett. Well, yes, Warren Buffett has done better in the stock market than just flipping a coin. But consider the fact he bought his first stock when he was 11. I think that was 70 or 75 years ago. And things were different then. Plus, he pretty much holds on to all of his stocks. He's not a trader. And finally, he often buys out a company and takes over management of it temporarily. So it's not exactly a legitimate data point to consider it, to refute the efficient market hypotheses. So who is exempt? I don't believe it's true all the time, but who is exempt? I think inside traders, and the big guys with supercomputers are exempt from it. Who is not exempt? The rest of us. We are subject to the efficient market hypotheses. And let me give you a little explanation of my take on it. Let's suppose that the market indeed is not efficient. And let's suppose we can divide the market into 10 segments, starting with on the lower left-hand side. This is the group of least efficient prices of stocks. And what this means, this group of stocks right here, with some analysis, you could pick out which stocks to buy or sell, and you would be more successful than flipping a coin. So let's suppose then you divide the total market up into 10 segments, and when you get to the right-hand side, let's suppose this segment is totally efficient, where if any of these stocks that are in this group right here, you could do no better than flipping a coin, no matter how much analysis you did on the company or on the chart of what the prices have been, you might as well flip a coin. This next group next to it is sort of just would be a little bit inefficient. Now, easily 80% of all market trading is done by high-frequency traders. That's the guys with the supercomputers, with professional money managers, and insider trading. Again, I know it's illegal, but it does happen, or at least they have information before you and I do. So my guess is that this 80% of the trading is just gobbling up and purchasing and analyzing any inefficiencies in the market before you or I have a chance. And what's left over for us is this small percentage of the market that is efficiently priced, and it's not going to do you any good to analyze or read the experts or the pundits about the prices. You might as well flip a coin. So that's my take on the efficient market hypothesis. Summarizing, don't be a stock picker and buy individual stocks for 3 reasons. It's too time consuming, your opponent is better than you, and the efficient market hypothesis says you can't do better than flipping a coin. Okay, that concludes then the section on stock picking. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, you can go to my website here, nobrainerinvestor.com. You can make comments. You can contact me directly. You can subscribe. And you can go to other sections of the website. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching. Ciao.